he says in the interview, I realized that this might cost me my life. And of course, later in the year, he and his wife died, you know, in fighting. Yeah, he was funny. He was charismatic. Well, you know his brother. He's very similar personality. He had a sense of humor. We secured access to them, and we did the Fehmi Lladrovcit interview, the first face-to-face interview in May. We'd done one interview before that off camera with an anonymous individual. It was daring of Lladrovci to appear on camera, and he says in the interview, I realized that this might cost me my life. And of course, later in the year, he and his wife died, you know, in fighting.
Can you explain a little bit, what did you have to go through to get that interview, the process towards it? Do you remember?
Yes, Vaughan met some significant KLA figures in, actually initially through a taxi driver in London, and then he followed up that contact and went to Europe. I think Switzerland was the initial. He had an initial meeting to say, look, you know, we would like to do this interview. They were wary, and they wanted to meet me. So a couple of guys came to my house in London, and who I never saw before or since. You know, but they were sort of part of the international diaspora of the KLA. We had a code word, mustesha, which when you, of course, see the interview, you understand what that code word was, because he had a magnificent moustache. That was what we were going to say at checkpoints, you know, along the way. The morning we were going out to do this interview with mustesha, all of the tires on all the journalists' vehicles were cut. So we got up because we were going to meet him early. Fortunately, we got up at about 3:30 in the morning, came outside, and no tires. So we woke up Gomeister, and we had some spare tires. We had 2 or 3 already Land Rover tires. Fixed the car. That took an hour and a half, and then went out beyond these Serb checkpoints, and then quite quickly, out beyond maybe 5 kilometers outside Pristina, you're in Albanian-held territory. You're in the countryside, and we went up these tracks, and felt rather ridiculous when we opened the door, and and with this password mustesha, and got in to do the interview. So that's how it came. What
did it feel like meeting him? He looks like a Che Guevara type person.
Yeah, he was funny. He was charismatic. Well, you know his brother. He's very similar personality. He had a sense of humor. We found again, Vaughan very skillfully as an ex-soldier, knew the lie of the land. We found a sort of scrape in the ground. I suppose it had been a quarry or something, where we could film not without being seen from anywhere. So we had time. We could take time to do the pictures we wanted to do.